Okay, so in this video, I'm going to demonstrate how a teacher can use ChatGPT to help them plan and develop a lesson or a unit or a course. So I created this list of different ways that teachers can use ChatGPT. And so, as I said a moment ago, I'm going to be focusing on planning, whether it's lessons, units, or courses. So, some of the ways you can use ChatGPT to help in your planning is to use it to brainstorm ideas, generate writing prompts, create discussion questions. There is really no limit to how ChatGPT can be used. And just as a reminder, it's all about the question stem or the prompt that you ask ChatGPT. Different prompts will generate different responses. And in fact, even if you ask ChatGPT the same question or give it the same prompt twice in a row on different days or different times, you're going to get slightly different responses and answers. So it's not robotic in that sense. Just keep that in mind. And the different kind of question you ask will create different answers. So these are just three sample stems and prompts that you could use and then modify to fit what you need or what you're looking for. So let's just jump into it and demonstrate how ChatGPT can be used for planning. All right, so I am currently planning for next year a ninth grade ELA course in which there's going to be a unit on The Catcher in the Rye. And I taught Catcher in the Rye a number of years ago for 12th graders, but I have never taught it for ninth. And so I am going to simply ask it, and I copied and pasted it so we don't have to waste time. I'm planning out a unit for The Catcher in the Rye, and I'm looking for some creative ideas to incorporate into the unit. Can you provide me a list of 20 ideas that incorporate the speaking, listening, and writing standards for 10th graders in Massachusetts? I could have included the reading standards. Apparently, I just didn't. But let's see what happens once I press enter. Again, you can be as specific or vague or broad as you want. I asked it for 20 ideas, so it's going to give me 20 ideas. And if I didn't put 20, it would maybe give me 8. I don't know. So let's just press enter and see what happens. It's always very polite and positive. So as you can see, I started from a blank canvas. I had no ideas. I have no assignments. I certainly have some things in my head as a teacher that I could incorporate, but it's always helpful to have ideas out there that I can look at and think about and curate and fit to what I want. And so ChatGPT is a great idea generator. And hold class discussions, have students work in pairs to analyze key passages. Some are going to be better than others, and that's how ideas work, how brainstorming works. But it's going to be helpful for me as a teacher to read some ideas, especially in a list format, and do my job as a professional and think about which are strong ideas, which are weak ideas, which fit my style of teaching, which could be things that I've already thought about, which are things that I haven't thought about yet that maybe I want to incorporate. Mock trial, in which students argue whether or not Holden Caulfield should be institutionalized. That's an idea I have not thought about. That's kind of cool. Some are kind of broad, hold class discussion about theme. Okay. And I might actually return to that in 1 second. But organize a poetry slam, hold class debates about the use of profanity in novels, essays, social media. Ask students to create a social media profile for Holden Caulfield or another character. A couple of different research papers that the kids would definitely love. But as you can see, there are a number of different ideas that, again, as a teacher, I can use my professional expertise and experience and mold these ideas into something that I could use. And of course, other ideas I'm going to throw out and not use because I don't like them. And that's what brainstorming is all about. So hopefully you can already see how ChatGPT is a great brainstorming tool for helping you plan a lesson or plan a unit or plan an entire course. Now, it's important to remember that ChatGPT is essentially a text prediction AI where you can have a conversation with it. It remembers what it just told you, and it remembers what you've already asked it. And so you can say something as simple as, can you please, I'm always polite because you never know, can you please give me 20 more ideas? let's stay away from research papers. You can also incorporate reading standards as well. Let's see what happens. All right. Now, this is generating it as fast as possible, and I've seen it go even faster. If I use the updated model, the ChatGPT 4, it's going to be slower, but the ideas will actually be better. So I'm using the faster model right now. Let's see. Sometimes there's going to be overlaps in ideas, and sometimes there's going to be new ideas. Podcasts, Socratic seminars. I asked it for no research papers, but I'll write a reflection on a personal experience. That's not a research paper. Create a playlist of songs that represent the novel. I like that idea. I mean, this wouldn't be a mastery assessment, but it would be a nice, again, creative idea to incorporate into the unit. A class discussion on mental health. I could definitely develop that into something interesting. We could have a week on mental health and incorporate other sources, debates, role playing. Again, some of these are really interesting and things that I have not thought about. And that's the whole point. You can use ChatGPT to give you new ideas that you might not have thought about and potentially use. And finally, I'm going to show you how it can remember little things that it already gave you and give you some additional information. And so, as I said earlier, on in the first list, there was a class discussion about theme. So I thought that was a little vague, a little broad. So I think number 13 from your first list was too vague or broad. Can you expand on what you were thinking? I weirdly treat it like a person, and it'll remind you that it doesn't have feelings or thoughts sometimes, but it'll still answer your question. See, this is really cool. You can ask it to expand. You can ask it to clarify. You can ask it to give more details. You can give it. You can ask it for examples, and immediately it did just that. So it kind of has a series of steps or a series of different ideas. And now, well, as an English teacher, I have no problem understanding what it means to hold a class discussion on theme of identity. That's not something that I need any clarification on. There could be something out there that I would need more information on and or different ideas about. And so you can certainly use this program to do just that. And so I like to use personally, and I'm about to end this video on this, I like to use ChatGPT to create ideas like I just demonstrated. And I use it to create like 100 ideas. I do 20 at a time and I do 20 more. And then all of a sudden, after literally 60 seconds, because that's how long it would take you without talking, you have 100 different ideas. And then later on, you can look at those ideas and consider them and use your professional expertise and experience to transform those ideas into your lessons, units, or courses. Final reminder, if you are going to use this program, well, it does have your history of different times you've used it, and it should be comprehensive. ChatGPT has been known to delete the histories from time to time, or they disappear for days at a time. So if there's something that I really am finding useful, I make sure to just copy and paste the entire thing into a Word document or a Google Docs. All right, so in the next video, I'm going to choose one of these ideas that ChatGPT generated and develop that idea into an assignment with rubrics and exemplars and everything else that I would need to really incorporate this into a lesson or a unit.